think I'm on. One watching now. See you. That's funny. Okay. Or somebody. I don't have a name. Am I hearing any? Hey, there's one. Editors National Convention. FDSS. What's up, man? Snapfast. Hey. What's up? Emerald City Transparency. Hey, hey. So, we were out around some government buildings today. So just had a live prep in case we needed it. But try to activate it, but it wasn't really doing its thing. Um, we posted a video just a few days ago. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's about one of the deputies here in Rockingham County uh, shooting a man point blank range in the chest um, at in a house, like in his own doorway, right? So pretty disturbing body cam video, and that's just one little piece of the puzzle. Like we'll be releasing more videos on that incident and some other stuff going on with Rockingham County, things that have gone on with Rockingham County, different officials that are still working in official capacity in Rockingham County coming up. Um, Shortly after we posted that video exposing this Clayton Doss, who used to work for the Rockingham County Sheriff's Department, then right after the shooting thing where he shot the man, you know, which seems like attempted murder. Walk up to somebody's house with your gun in your hand and you shoot him in the chest within seconds. Clayton got a job at Madison Police Department, where he was just a few days ago promoted to sergeant. So that's Clayton Doss, and we've got a lot more information to release on Clayton Doss that'll be coming soon. But somebody let us know that shortly after that video publishing to YouTube, exposing the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office and uh, Madison for hiring this man. Um, the Madison Police Department Facebook page and the Rockingham County Sheriff's Department or Sheriff's Office Facebook page are not available. Oh, Rockingham's is back. Okay, so they must have pulled theirs back up, but it was down. Um, so interesting, right? Uh, I know with Otto's situation, Eric did a call to action because I think it was the prosecutor, district attorney, somebody was threatening. Get this thing going again. All right, I think you're back. What I was saying was Eric did a call for action for Otto because the city, Texas, was trying to silence the First Amendment and people posting and sharing the story, which just, you know, the the community responded by sharing the story more, right? Going to not even directly going to government Facebook pages or government social media accounts and posting it on them, but on affiliate, if the culprits were the district attorney's office, trying to post any online presence they have there, the sheriff's department or the police department posting it there, right? Any other affiliate areas, maybe the Chamber of Commerce, right? The any local community associations, if they have a Facebook group or some kind of page, letting basically publicizing that there's a story about an injustice in their community that they need to be aware of, right? Um, so people were doing that to support Otto, to let his story be known. And the question, a lot of people have posed, and I haven't checked on any kind of case law or anything like this, to see what if courts have kind of getting any rulings on it. So if anybody knows in the chat, let me know. But I'll probably look it up later. If there's any current guidelines as to public entities, government entities and their social media accounts being considered public forums, and that's the title of this live stream. Like, because of these local police and sheriff's departments here shut theirs down, you know, and they were down right after we published a story exposing some crimes of their officers. So, if it is a public forum, then which you think it would be, right? It's a governmental group, governmental agency. It's open to the public to come share ideas, for them to. It's basically like a bulletin board, essentially. Um, so I guess you can try to argue, well, if it's a bulletin board that the the city has to put out, like, put on their window, does that mean that the public can go advertise or put their own papers on the city's window? I think that would be a good counter argument for that. But if it's more viewed more broadly than just a bulletin board, because it's interactive, you know, um, and it's a space where people can communicate back and forth, then I think it would be more likely to be interpreted as a public forum, like a sidewalk that's at the police department, or sheriff's department, to limit people's ability to comment and post and protest and um, redress grievances would seem to be the equivalent of blocking off the street or the sidewalk in front of and around the police department and sheriff's department to redress grievances. That tyrannical mandates lock people down and they can't go out to go do things. Like, so if they're trying to force people into a digital space to communicate, and they say, well, physical contact and physical, from the last few days after publishing the video on Clayton Doss. But we've got more information coming, some stories that you guys probably are would be really interested in, and a lot of them connect directly to that shooting. You know? So let me check to see what the chat says. Hey, Robert, D squared. Somebody said something. Turn my volume up. Legalize freedom. What's that? Oh, circuits 2 and 4 have ruled on it. Yeah, if you guys have any kind of supporting documentation for that or links, if you would send it to the email insightisfree@gmail.com, that'd be really great. I can make my hunt for any kind of case law on this a lot easier. Second and fourth courts. Yeah, they don't want people to communicate. They don't want people to share, their grievances. They definitely don't want you to share any of the crimes that you witnessed the government actors committing, which they commit every day. We had a long chat with a tax man today, and it it didn't seem like he could grasp the concept that you know, demanding somebody pay you when you have no claim to their property is theft. Like if I demand you pay me money because you own a car, like that's theft. That's extortion. Like you're, and then yeah, it was bizarre. So,
frame it like the mafia. If you move into town and like some other mafia guy comes to your door and is like, "Hey, you owe, you live here now. Well, you owe us this much money. I
yeah,
don't know if anybody told you, but this is our turf.
yeah,
And either you pay this or we're gonna mess you up.
yeah,
But if you pay it, okay."
yeah.
Like, so,
Definitely mafia.
I mean,
You
it's
know,
the same
tactics.
thing.
It's like, well, your insurance for living here, you know, so you don't get a broken window is this much. You have to pay us, and it's that's what taxation. You know, a good analogy for taxation is. It's theft. You know, it's coercion and theft. But it's crazy when they don't even inform the person that there's a bill, right? That there's a bill due, and then they demand that you pay them anyway. Like one the property owner never entered into an agreement to pay you anything for their property. They paid the other property owner when they made the sale. Like they didn't agree that a third party can have a percentage of whatever the value of my property is. Like there's no agreement there. But then two, like if they're claiming that there is some agreement or they're claiming that they have to pay, like there would be some kind of bill, or you got to inform the person, hey, this is what you owe us. But even if this tax man is saying, even if they don't inform the people that they have a bill to pay, that they still have to pay it and pay an accrued interest for meeting the the due date on the bill that they never sent. Right? It's just insanity. There's no logic to it. It's complete fraud, and this is just normal practice of government. So burning. Are you talking about like Facebook? Somebody that said it would be a private company on a private server. Let me say they're blocked from multiple different Facebook pages. Maybe they're blocking accounts and not taking down their Facebook page. But we got reports. We got reports from several people that the Facebook pages were down. You guys, somebody check to see if you can see the Madison Police Department, Madison, North Carolina. See if their Facebook page is up, and you can check the Rockingham County, North Carolina Facebook page and see if that's up. Let me know. Let me know if it's if there's. Hey, Perth.
Private business thing, like private entity having a Facebook page. Yeah, private on a private forum. But a public entity having a Facebook page,
Right.
that's where the difference is. And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about private people. Like we have a YouTube page, you can block people that's private. But we're talking about governmental, like, public.
Yeah, somebody else's digital home. Yeah, I mean, you have terms of service of whatever platform you're publishing on. But we're talking about specifically with the government entity using a private platform. I don't think that really matters, right? Because I think there's even precedent with a lot of government entities rent their space, like physical space, from private property owners. But the public property, and it's open to the public access, essentially, applies, even though there's strip mall may be owned by a private property owner, but the DMV may rent out a space, or the post office may rent out a space from the strip mall owner. Yeah, yeah. Just because like the private property owner may have some rules for their property, um, that doesn't necessarily apply when you're on the government the government's rented space out of that property. I think that would be similar to what we're talking about with a government page. Legalize freedom. Free speech is definitely being banned. Yeah. You guys haven't. If you guys haven't checked out, Texas Sheepdog has a video out today of him being attacked by some goons in Almost Park. When I think I think I think he was just holding a sign that was criticizing the Almost Park police and police chief, and the guy like pulls up and draws on him, draws on Jack from Texas Sheepdog. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. It's pretty crazy. In the 25, hey, you can girl. Second Circuit Court. Yeah, send me that case. Who was that? B squared. Yeah, shoot us an email. Insightisfree@gmail.com. Thanks, B squared. Somebody's saying that the Facebook page is like a subject to public records. I mean, I guess that makes sense because it's just going from the north because it's state by state for the North Carolina one. I just went through it again today. The public records law. Um, it's any record that they have or create, while they're on the job is a public record. So it doesn't matter what platform they're using. If they're using Microsoft uh, Word to create a document, you know, that Microsoft is a company that they've bought, a product from, and even though they don't have to necessarily pay for their product of Facebook page, like they're using it from another company, like yeah, 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 yeah. That'd be a good one to do a records request for government Facebook pages blocked list of people of accounts that they have blocked from government Facebook pages or social media accounts. That'd be a good records request to do. It'd be pretty simple because you would say I want a you know basically a screenshot of that page. When you pull up your blocked list, like either print it out into a list form or print the file form or whatever you got to do to get that. If it has to be a screenshot, it's a screenshot. But they have access to it. If it's on a computer and they don't know how to do it, then like, okay, well, let me go in and examine the record and I'll take my own picture. Now, did you guys hear about switching topics a little bit? Did you guys hear about the Supreme Court case recently on qualified immunity Um, Two people emailed us that if you go to, I think, the YouTube channel that has a little 7-8 minute video on it, it says Leto's Law, I think is the name of the YouTube channel, and he discusses it, that the Supreme Court recently overturned its decision on qualified immunity, which hopefully is going to open the door to remove qualified immunity and completely reverse that. But as far as I know, it's working to lower the bar um, in order to have cases go forward instead of having them just rejected by having the defense, for like police officers defense claim qualified immunity defense. So that's positive news. Not that I have much hope in the court system because they're super corrupt through and through. Speaking of, I haven't heard anything back from the Rockingham County District Attorney's Office since our last video, where we called them and insisted that they uphold the North Carolina Constitution and my victims' rights. I did call them again this week and asked to speak to Prosecutor Hucks, Kenneth, I think it's Kenneth Jefferson Hucks, and they took a note and so they'd pass it on, and he has yet to call me back again. So we'll be trying to get a hold of them some more to try to make sure that they uphold the North Carolina Constitution. Not that they would start now, they haven't thus far, but at least we'll document that they continue to discriminate and choose not to uphold the law. All right, I think I'm caught up on the chat. Anything else? No. All right, just stay tuned. We got more content coming on Rockingham County stuff, more cover up and corruption for you guys to view and share. And if you do want to check out, did anybody look at the Facebook pages for me before I end this? If anybody wants to check to see if the Madison, North Carolina Police Department or the Rockingham County Sheriff's Department Facebook pages are still up, uh, do a quick check of that and then let us know in the chat if they are. Hey, gaming, it's going all right. Been having a lot more migraines recently, so I've been very less mobile or vocal. Uh, Had to fire my primary care doctor too. So, yeah, I might have one that's competent. She seemed pleasant anyway. She seemed like she was trying to help. Somebody said no Facebook. Yeah, no Facebook page. Yeah, I get cluster headaches too. I get those and migraines. It's no fun. All right. Well, they are nearby. Again, like if you guys want to do anything and redress grievances for what we've seen in the videos at Rockingham County officials, and the most recent one exposing Clayton Doss, from the Rockingham County Sheriff's Department, who was then hired by the Madison Police Department and subsequently promoted. check out other avenues to maybe redress grievances, like we did with supporting auto with Eric's call to action. It doesn't have to be necessarily that specific entity's social media presence. It can be the city, the county, a neighboring town. It can be chamber of commerce. It can be any number of areas that you can go. Just groups, that are not affiliated, just people that happen to live or work or operate in that area in the community in Rockingham County. You can post and share the story of what they're doing and what they have done and the corruption that we keep exposing. So feel free to redress grievances any way you want that way. Maiden Police Department, I think today, as of today, had a 4 out of 5 rating on their Facebook on Maiden.
As a four?
Yeah, it was a 4 out of 5 Maiden Police Department in Maiden, North Carolina, and they had officers that were taking part in my kidnapping uh, back on February 21st last year. Yeah, and they were present for the protest in Madison, and they work hand in hand with Madison, and they're part of Rockingham County, so they actually, we have more coming on Maiden as well. Some of their staff have a pretty dark past as well, and it's thick. So get ready for the skeletons to start walking out of closets. So all right.
But if you haven't learned how to back up people's videos, maybe something to look into. Like, because if there's videos that you really appreciate, they could be gone.
Yeah.
They could get taken down.
Yeah, if you want to learn how to save people's videos or back them up, we recommend doing that because of all the crazy censorship happening on these platforms, and we may not be here long. So thanks for tuning in. Peace and love, everybody. And David Prince Bear.